2.
Hey guys, it's time for Sweaty Strategies with Coach Christina, and this is 21.3/21.4 because of course we had to have a 2-part workout in this open. Oh, what fun it is. All right, first things first. You gotta go to Trader Joe's and you gotta get you some of these. These are the super sour Scandinavian swimmers. This workout is gonna take a lot of glycogen. You are gonna need to replenish that sugar before you lift some big weights, okay? So get you some of these little guys and you know you're gonna be ready to perform at your best, okay? Once you got that out of the way, the next thing you need to know is that this is all about fatigue management, okay? This is a fatigue management workout and it is won or lost on the high skill gymnastics movements, okay? You've got to know yourself as an athlete and know your skills and really pace this workout smart. A couple overall things to keep in mind: hand care. If you're used to wearing grips or tape or anything like that, I would definitely recommend it for this workout because it is a lot on your hands, and the last thing that you want is a rip going into the barbell. If you're not used to that stuff, you know, don't worry about it, but if you have it, use it. If you have something to file your calluses at home, make sure you do that tonight or tomorrow morning before you come in and hit this workout because you want your hands fresh and ready to go. The two main things that might fatigue during this workout are going to be your grip and your quads. Those are the most common things that I'm hearing people talk about. So I'm sorry, just from the way this workout is designed, I don't necessarily have a tip for you to avoid those things, but I just want you to know that going in. Know that it's gonna be a grippy workout. Know that your quads are probably gonna get smoked, and just plan accordingly. Be ready for that fatigue. Know that you can handle it and be ready to lift heavy anyway, okay? Some little things that you can do to try to manage that is to make sure that on your front squats and your thrusters, you're sitting back in your heels. If you're way up on your toes, that's gonna put a lot more pressure on your quads. All right, also on your gymnastics, try to relax your hip a little bit if you can. If you're flexing your quads really, really hard on every rep of toe to bar, every time you're kipping a bar muscle up or butterflying a chest to bar or whatever it is, if you're flexing really hard, that quad fatigue is gonna sneak up on you. So try to relax into that kip if you can. As far as grip, I suggest, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but I suggest breaking up your gymnastics sets early anyway. Not only is this gonna help manage your grip fatigue, it's gonna help manage the skill breakdown of your high skill gymnastics, and it's gonna give you a little more grip when you get to the barbell. All right, moving into the specifics. On this workout, 21.3, I cannot stress this enough. Coach Zach, just kidding. All right, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Know yourself as an athlete and know your pace, all right? A lot of the games athletes are going out there and doing their toes to bar and their chest to bar unbroken. Keep in mind, these guys train high volume of these skills all the time, multiple times a day. 30 reps is nothing for them. For most of us, 30 reps is a decent chunk of volume. So I definitely recommend breaking those up early. I train a decent amount of gymnastics, and personally, I broke my toes to bar up into 5s. I broke my chest to bar. My chest to bar plan was to go into 5s. It went 5s, 3s, and then 1s by the end because I was just trying to get them done and also not rip. And then the bar muscle ups, I went 3s, 2s, and then singles from there on out. So I definitely recommend breaking them up early, keeping your sets short, your rest quick, and keeping that fatigue managed. I really like something that Coach Jonna said. She said a good way to manage fatigue on the gymnastics is to come off the bar 1 to 2 reps before you need to. So you don't want to be falling off the bar thinking, oh my gosh, I need a break. It should be, okay, I could do a couple more toes to bar, but I'm gonna come down, shake it out, take a quick break, and jump back up there. That little bit of time that you spend coming down is gonna save you a lot of energy in the long run. The workouts definitely won or lost in the later rounds, the chest to bar and the bar muscle ups. All right, another thing I would be aware of is at your pull-up station, Angie is probably gonna hate me for saying this, but I recommend chalking up the pull-up bar if you're planning to do bar muscle ups, especially if you're gonna do bar muscle ups without your shirt on, because it does get warm in here. My stomach kept sticking to the bar on some of my later sets, so I ended up having to kind of, I don't know, get chalk all over, and I wish I would have chalked up my pull-up bar ahead of time, so I had a little bit more of a glide there, and I didn't even have to worry about that. For some people who are a little bit stronger and can get more up to their hips, that might not be an issue, but if you're catching your muscle ups more here, like I was, just something to think about. All right, let's talk about the barbell movements in the WOD. I definitely beg you, if at all possible, to go unbroken on the front squats, all right? There's no need to set the bar down. You get a rest in between each interval. So when you do the front squats, you're doing those fresh every time. It's a lightweight. You don't need to rush them. You don't need to do them super fast, but don't set the bar down, and just keep a nice steady tempo there. Okay, on the thrusters at the end of each interval, obviously unbroken is a great goal. It's good to know that rest is coming. You can kind of make that final push, especially if you're getting close to the time cap. All right, really go for broke. It's gonna hurt, but it's light. You can do it. It's about getting out of your head and just making your body do its thing. Again, fighting that quad fatigue, right? Staying back in your heels, trying to think about your glutes as you're coming out of the thruster. However, I know that most athletes might not be able to go unbroken on their set of thrusters. My recommendation, try to break it into 2 sets if you can. If you are able, I would go 9 and 6. All right, if you're not able to go 9 and 6 and you're super fatigued, this can be like your plan C. Okay, you have to go 3 sets. Okay, let's try to go 6, 5, 4. I think those descending sets are really gonna help to trick your brain and help you fight the mental fatigue that comes with this workout. Okay, last thing I want to address in the WOD portion is athletes who are maybe trying a new skill for the first time. So this workout's very challenging with the gymnastics movement. RX is going toe to bar, chest to bar, bar muscle up. Scaled is going knees to 90, chin over bar pull-ups, chest to bar pull-ups. So for some of us, chest to bar pull-ups or bar muscle ups or whatever it is, chin over bar pull-ups, those might be a new skill. If that's you, and you know you're probably not gonna get very many reps once you get to that point, the strategy changes for you a little bit. Don't pace the early rounds. If you know you're gonna get stuck somewhere, go quick at the beginning and try to get the fastest possible tie break that you can. Go for broke, go all out, blackout pace, go unbroken, get a good tie break time. Then, say you have 8 to 10 minutes left of the workout, you can use that time just to have fun with it. Use the open adrenaline, the Friday Night Lights, the cheering, all of that. Use that adrenaline to try to get your first pull-up or your first chest to bar or your first bar muscle up or all those cool things that happen in the open, and just have fun with it. I know that it can be really easy with workouts like this to read them and get discouraged and think, oh no, I can't do chest to bar pull-ups, or I can't do muscle ups. What am I gonna do? And don't count yourself out. You have 15 minutes on the clock. Use it as an opportunity to try to get your first one, or use it as a learning opportunity to try to get closer to your first one, rather than getting discouraged. I can't wait to see some of those PRs. So that's all I have for you on 21.3. All right, moving on to 21.4, the complex. It's deadlift, clean, hang clean, and jerk. All right, definitely have a plan going in. Warm up to something moderately heavy beforehand and know what lifts you plan to make. You should plan within the 7 minutes to make 3 or 4 attempts. Okay, you really won't have much time for more than that, especially considering that your clock starts right at the end of 21.3. So you don't have a lot of recovery time. Plan for 3 to 4 sets, okay? I recommend writing down the sets that you plan to hit, having your plates all laid out, knowing ahead of time what you're gonna put on the bar. You are not gonna be able to do math after 21.3, okay? Your brain is not going to be functioning. I promise. So have a friend there, have a trusted person, somebody to help you make sure you load your bar correctly, or grab a whiteboard and write down exactly what plates you need to put on for the weights that you want to hit, okay? Because I promise you, your brain is going to be scrambling. So have a plan and then adjust as needed based on film. The other little tip I'm going to give you is use change plates, okay, fraction plates. You are allowed to use them. You must increase in at least 1 pound increments, which would be a ½ pound plate on each side, okay? And I recommend using those. I recommend throwing those on first. Just throw them on the inside so you won't even have to think about it. What that's gonna do is that's gonna help with your tie break. Let's say for me, females, okay, let's say that there's a lot of women and we're all in a tie at, let's say 155 or whatever, 155 pounds, okay? If a bunch of women lift 155 pounds, but I've got the change plates on and I lift 156 or 157, I jump myself ahead, all right? So think smart. I would throw those change plates on first thing if you feel comfortable with that, all right? Then there are a couple of ways to approach getting ready to lift. I actually didn't do this in my workout, but after having done it, it's what I would recommend. I would recommend throwing a moderate weight on your bar. You'll be nice and warm from all the thrusters and front squats, so don't worry about that. I recommend throwing a moderate weight on your bar. Just do 1 clean and jerk, just to prime your CNS and get your shoulders ready to lift a little bit, okay? Do 1. Then load up your bar with something pretty heavy. And I would say a solid heavy attempt, but something you're 90% sure you can hit. And that's where I would open with the complex, all right? You do have to play with fire a little bit because you don't want to start too light. You don't have a lot of time, but you also don't want to fail your opening lift because that is very costly time-wise, okay? And it can be costly mentally. So be smart, but I recommend doing that 1 clean and jerk at a moderate weight and put on something kind of heavy, 90% sure you can hit, and that's where I would open. Again, you're gonna plan for 3, maybe 4 attempts, okay? But really, really no more than that. And don't rush. Take some time after your WOD to recover. Take some time in between your lifts. Have somebody, your judge or somebody telling you the time, and don't rush, stay relaxed, okay? Also think about your gear. This is really individual to the athlete. I personally did the WOD in my flat shoes because I don't like doing gymnastics in my Ole shoes. However, I know some people really prefer to do the workout in their lifters. They feel more stable, feel it helps them with the stability on the front squats and the thrusters, and they don't really care about having a little bit of extra weight on their feet for the gymnastics. So if that's you, you can definitely wear your lifters this entire workout. It won't hurt you. If you do want to do a shoe change, I personally found that helpful. I just used that time to kind of center myself, catch my breath, get my mind right, and it was really helpful. But if you're going to do that, have all your gear right there. Have your shoes unlaced, have your knee sleeves ready, have your wrist wraps ready, your belt, whatever you need. Make sure it's all right there and it's close by so that you're not scrambling. But you do have time to change if you want, okay? The last tip I'm gonna give you, thanks for bearing with me. I know there's a lot of moving parts to this workout, so thanks for hanging in there, okay? The last tip I have on the complex is, obviously, again, this is very lifter dependent, but I would suggest, if you are able to, after your deadlift, okay, I would do your first clean from the floor. I would try to make that a power clean if you can. That way you save just a little bit of energy in your legs, and when you go for your hang clean, okay, that's gonna be a lot harder, so you're probably gonna have to squat it. But I would save the squat for the hang clean if you can. I did not do that on my first couple attempts, but in my heaviest attempt, I did do that. I changed my first clean to power, and I had a lot more leg drive when I went to the jerk, which is the weakest movement personally for me. So I definitely suggest that if you can. You can clean any style. If you want to do both cleans as power, that's cool too. It doesn't have to be a full clean, but just a good tool to have in your tool bag. You can switch between clean styles if you like. So something to think about. Warm up with it first, so that you can see what you like. Those are all the tips that I have for you. Again, thanks for sticking with me through this long video. Can't wait to see you guys crush 21.3, 21.4. We'll see you on the floor.